We describe our political parties as right and left. If I were on the left, I would complain about that, because right has another meaning than simply pointing out a certain direction. Those on the right are routinely called extremists. They're not merely right, but far right. Barry Goldwater, the Republican candidate for president in 1964, is often cited even today as the epitome of extremism. His acceptance speech at the Republican National Convention is still quoted today. Extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice. Moderation in the pursuit of justice is no virtue. And of course, Barry Goldwater is not the primary target here that we are being warned about. But let me tell you what I find extreme today in politics. I think it is extreme when we allow anybody who shows up at our border into our country. No background checks, no medical exams. Then we put them up in hotels and give them public money to live on. Did they ask anybody if they should do this? We've allowed over 2 million people to come into our country this year alone. But one party insists, they encourage people from all over the world to just come in. And we don't know who they are. And nobody cares. And nobody wants you to even know about this. I think it's extreme that so many people think they have a right to kill their unborn babies. And they will loudly and threateningly protest this in the streets. Remember the protests in front of the houses of the Supreme Court justices? A right? In America, our rights come from God. You think God regards human life as disposable? The other rights are only what is legal, or things the government decides to do. Government can't create rights, because government can just as well eliminate that right. I think it's extreme that there's no limit to government spending. We are now $31 trillion in debt, and nobody cares. At least one political party. We spend $1 trillion a year just to pay interest on that debt. That's essentially wasting $1 trillion a year. That's insane. I think it is extreme to erase the very idea of sex and replace it with gender identity. The same people who have been insisting for the last 2 years to follow the science now want to deny science to normalize what can only be described as an aberration of the highest sort. And these are the people who criticize the other party for being extreme.